George Taylor was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He's one of the few that were non-American born signers of the Declaration of Independence, and came to our country, had progressed in life, and had built this house that we're at today. In 1767, the property was purchased, and then 1768, it was finished. His wife, Anne, had passed away at the same time the house was finished. We love the house, and we love being here, and we enjoy visiting the house, and we enjoy doing tours of the house.
What was the scariest thing that ever happened to you here?
The one night we were closing up, and what I do is before I set the alarm in the house, I walk through the whole house and make sure everything's all good. And then I came downstairs and I went to check the dining room. And as soon as I came through the door of the dining room, something, and I say something which looked like a dog, took off through the room as if I scared it. It was almost like it was laying there like on Saint Bernard, and got up and took off as I was in there, and it was just, what was that? And it was black and it was crazy looking, and it just took off.
Where did it go then?
I don't know. I don't know where it went.
Did it disappear?
It disappeared, yes. I don't know where it went.
Were you scared after you saw it?
Yes. that was crazy. And then I told my wife Candace as soon as we left there, and I was, oh my God. And there was like nowhere to explain it. There was no way to explain it other than what I just said. And then I closed up the house and left, and that was it.
This is a space for curious souls who want to understand the unseen without fear.
We explore the intersection of intuition, energy, and the paranormal, offering grounded insights, real stories, and practical tools.
We're two intuitive weirdos on a mission to shift the paranormal from fear to empowerment.
Together we demystify the spooky and reclaim the sacred, one episode at a time. Welcome to Empower Paranormal. How does one begin to understand the complexities of a human being long since past? To understand the man George Taylor and why the house at Lehigh and Poplar Street is haunted is to look directly to the past. What we do understand of him alludes to this rags to riches fairy tale. He became noticed as a man by many accounts of great integrity and considered a perfect example of ideal American society at the time. He was a husband, father, soldier, and businessman. He is a founding father and public servant forever tied to one document that is the basis of all American values, the Declaration of Independence. Like so many, there is more to this man than meets the eye. For better or worse, so many individuals took part in the shaping of the United States. The few who have been noticed are barely recorded in our history, and so many more will never be known, but they are all in the very fabric of our foundation. The paranormal can help fill in those missing pieces. The paranormal can help us give a voice to those who never got one.
This is interesting for me because I have to finally admit being psychic. That's been really difficult for me to say it out loud because of the stigma that comes with it. I've always been sensitive to spirits and energies. I've been dealing with paranormal since I was born, but it wasn't until I came into this house that I really had to embrace all the things that I've dealt with and what I've been afraid of in the paranormal realm. There's always something going on here. It almost feels like there's always a message that wants to be said or just attention. I hear thoughts and I see things in a way that I know are not my own, and it comes in as different. So it's just different.
I walked in to get something, and right by the fireplace, it looked like a figure of just George Taylor. And it was just with his uniform on. And the one thing that really stood out to me was the buttons. They were just so bright and almost like it hurt your eyes to kind of look at it. But he was either like like a kneeling pose. It just seemed like he was very tall, and he was just right by the fireplace, just kind of just looking into it. And that was an experience that was just strange. I just kind of just paused there for a second, and it was almost like just in an instant, like a flash, it was gone. It's weird. Sometimes you're here, and then you get like almost like a photograph just in your mind, and then it just vanishes as quickly as it appears. So, I've had that a couple times here.
Do places have boundaries the way people do?
Yes. Yes. Especially George Taylor House here, it will let you know if you're going too far or if it doesn't like the energy of certain investigators and stuff. All activity will stop. But when it accepts you and embraces you, it's more active and vocal and talks to you. So I do believe locations will give boundaries and they'll find ways to let you know.
We had walked right into the front door of the house. And immediately it sounded like somebody was like running. And then we heard like, ha, 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 really loud in our face. And he turned and said, nope, and pushed me back out the door and ran like a child. And then, my fight or flight kicked in and I went running, screaming too. And then later we found out that there was another group upstairs in the house and they had heard what sounded like, I think they said it was like a herd of elephants coming through. Like you'll walk into a place and there's something there. You shouldn't necessarily be there. Yeah, lots of footsteps in this house. Just random talking. Like if you're downstairs, you hear it upstairs. A lot of it happens when we're not paying attention to the house. We're just having a meeting. We're talking to each other. House gets annoyed. Likes us to know that it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How y'all doing up here?
It does. It really does. I see it. Yes, that's so a gift.
Hello? Did you hear whisper?
Yeah. Right. This place has a lot of protective energies. I feel like it's very reciprocal with the volunteers that are involved. We protect it, and it seems to protect us, which is really nice. It weeds out negative energies that it doesn't want here on its own, which is exciting and easy for me.
My first impression of the house was just that it was, old. Obviously, it's from the 1700s. It had a little bit of a history of, we were coming here to investigate, so I already had an impression that it was probably most likely haunted, but it was an old house and neat history. We were here investigating, and me and two other investigators were downstairs in the basement, and nothing was really happening down there at the time. So I said I was going to run upstairs, get something. I would be right back. And when I got upstairs, I got sidetracked. I started talking to some of the other investigators, but the two people in the basement heard what they thought was me come back down the stairs. Now, this was wintertime. I was wearing boots, so there was no question that they definitely thought they heard somebody coming down the wooden stairs in like a heavy shoe. But it wasn't me. So they waited and they waited and they waited because they were in the other room in the basement and they thought I was around the corner.
And it just consistently kept lighting up right here, which is between.
Someone's walking around up here.
Yeah.
And finally they came out of the room looking for me and nobody was there. So a few minutes later they came upstairs and they said, "Did you just go downstairs?" And I said, "Oh no, I never made it back downstairs. I got sidetracked. I'm coming right now." And they said, "Well, somebody came down the stairs. It sounded like you, and we could have sworn it was you. But when we came around the corner, nobody was in the room." If you're downstairs, you would hear what sounded like a knock or a footstep upstairs. Or if you're upstairs and you feel like you hear something downstairs. A lot of things happened when we would do the group investigations. We would have gadgets that would go off.
Okay. Can you please turn that light off?
Thank you. So, whoever just turned that light on, are you the woman that I saw sitting in this chair? Can you let me know by using the blue flashlight? If you are, I'd just like to know that it's you. All right, thank you so much.
This specific property, there's definitely stuff happening here all the time, but I already was a believer prior to coming here, and I still am.
I feel like there's something with this house in particular, and I'm not saying this is true for all locations, but definitely this house, the George Taylor house, that something is always listening and intrigued by what we're doing. Like I said, the protective spirits that are here, they almost feel like they're absorbed into our lives, if that makes sense. Like we're siblings or something, part of the family here. So I feel like they're always listening to what's happening in our lives and letting us know what it needs as well.
Like when we're investigating, how would you say you know what equipment you want to use?
I think we just kind of try different things, see what works, what doesn't. If we notice that in a certain area, more EMF things are going off versus like the flashlights, things like that.
That
What's that?
was the pyramid.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so when stuff like that happens, we realize it's more concentrated to a certain area, then we use that kind of equipment in that area to try to strengthen whatever's there. There's a response.
I know I go a lot off of feeling too. You know, if there's something that's kind of pulling me that I should bring a certain piece of equipment there, I typically take it. And then I try to also envision what would work in that certain room. Like there's certain places in the house that grids would work excellent for. And it's not just to see like spirits there, it's also to help me as well so I can make sure that I can see there as well. So it kind of is from a safety perspective and also just from the paranormal perspective as well.
So Hannah is one of the people that used to live in our house. She was the second family that lived in the house after George and Ann. Her husband had gone away on a trip, and he was an importer-exporter, and he had died on a boat, and he had died. And we believe she's still here, that she's the one that screams, and that she's here wandering the house. And sometimes she's heard laughing and dancing around the table in the dining room. And we believe that she has a thing for me. Upstairs, there is a bed in the one room. And when I sit on it, we seem to have a lot of activity. You want to come sit with me? Come on up. See that?
Yep. Just a little bit.
I saw you a little bit. Can you do that again? Come sit on. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Hey, Hannah. Oh, Candace. Don't get jealous. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. We speak to, we'll say her, and we can almost talk to her and have her come in and sit on the bed. So we do believe, and then we've had other very weird paranormal issues with her. We've talked to her, and we've had responses of her. She's been in the attic, and we believe she goes to the attic.
Sounds like that too. That's why I just put my hand on my head.
I thought it was a bug.
Yeah. Hannah, is there anybody else up here with you? Jeez, that was a...
Oh, that was quick. Okay.
Okay, thank you. How about this? I'm gonna count from 1 and keep going up. So when I get to the number of how many people are up here with you, can you please set one of those lights off? All right, so here I go. 1.
Okay.
Well, I did say please set one of those lights off. So there's 2 of you up here.
Okay, turn that light off.
Can you please set that off for me, or turn that off for me, Hannah?
Just so we're clear.
Thanks, darling.
Two spirits up here, including yourself.
Can you confirm that for us, please?
2 people other than us.
Okay, thank you. The George Taylor house blew my mind as far as paranormal activity, and I think it really catapulted me to another level of understanding and how intense paranormal activity can be. First and foremost, I think it's really important to be respectful of the people here and also of the history of a place. I think that the paranormal part of it is an extension of that, and I think that when there's no more history to be had, the paranormal can fill in those blanks.
I want viewers to understand that this place is so special, not only in the paranormal energies, but also the history of this house. This house was built by an immigrant.
I've investigated quite a few places, and this house is the only house that always is giving. The more and more that we're here, this house has taught us so many things, and one of them in particular is just that trusting your instincts and your intuition is much better than using a piece of equipment per se. But also it's a lot deeper than that. I think the house has really honed in on the people that it cares about, and vice versa.
You can't stop listening to it. You can't just shut it down because we're a part of this house. Our energy is imprinted in this house, and the energy of this house is imprinted on us. Like, we are definitely one. Feel like we will forever be entwined with this house.
I actually prefer coming into places like this and just really going inward and feeling the place out and trying to sense what I can pick up on without having to have validation. You know, I think what's different about this place is we're so lucky to be able to come back and really interact with the spirits here. And I think out of everything, just once again being respectful to the humans that have passed through here, to everybody that's been in this space on this property, and to the house itself. This is such a beautiful house.
Remembering what this country was built on is built into these walls here. Family, it's inviting for everybody that passes through the area, and welcoming guests of all statuses, you know, and just the history of this place means a lot, especially right now.